What's up, Heat Nation? We are back with another Miami Heat roundtable. I am joined by all four of us today. So we have some breaking news that came out earlier today, which we're excited about. Some of us might be a little more skeptical about the news, right, Trent? But we got Martel on. He joined from his car. So we're excited to talk about a report that came out today specifically regarding the Charlotte Hornets combo guard Terry Rozier. And he mentioned that if he gets traded, which the Charlotte Hornets are a shit show, and they're going to possibly buy out or trade Gordon Hayward, some other pieces, so they could build around LaMelo and Brandon Miller. They said Terry Rozier might be available, and Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports asked him, where would you want to play? He said the Miami Heat, man. And, this is another player, not the same caliber as Dame, but this is another player like KD in the past or even Mitchell who have said they wanted to play for the Heat. So wanted to talk to the guys, get your perspective, thoughts on Terry Rozier joining the Heat. I don't know who wants to go first. Trent, you want to start off?
Yeah, I'll start off. So Terry Rozier, I like him. I do like him. He's actually having a career year. When we look at the numbers, looking really, really good. He's averaging 24 points a game, 46% from the field, damn near shooting 37% from the three-point line with 8 attempts a game. So that's pretty high. 7 assists and about 4 rebounds. Now, I will say, and I said this about Kelly Oubre last year, and honestly, he has been proving me wrong. When you're in the Charlotte Hornets without LaMelo Ball, your numbers are going to look really, really good. There's no one to pass to. Like, yeah, you got Miles Bridges and PJ Washington, but the team's not that really, really good, right? And so look at Kelly Oubre last year. He's averaging like 20 points a game, but his efficiency was terrible. This year he's playing really good with the 76ers. I'm just trying to make a little comparison with it.
Yeah.
But if we're going to look at a point guard upgrade, and with the reports already coming out that we may not want DeJounte Murray, and we probably won't get him, I don't mind a Terry Rozier. I honestly rather have him over Murray. That's just personally my opinion. I don't mind it. I will say though, I know we may not look at the plus minus and stuff like that. I know Ernest brought it up, I believe our last episode. His last 5 games, his plus minus is -18, -32, -31, -9, and -10. So that is a little bit concerning, right? But y'all always say, whoever comes to Heat Nation, we're always going to figure it out, and they're always going to become a player on this team that is going to perform. So I try not to look at the numbers or, if it's little, if it's too high, or if it's turnover, whatever the case may be. I try not to look at it because we got the best coach in the NBA, and he's always going to figure it out. And at the end of the day, we just need to upgrade at the point guard position, and if that's getting Kyle Lowry out of here and bringing Terry Rozier, I'm completely fine with it. And also, just to make it a little bit short, his contract is around like $24 million, but I will say he's unrestricted free agent in 2026, but in that 2025-2026 year, it's only part guaranteed. So look at that. I'm definitely open for it. If he's saying he will prefer the Miami Heat if he's going to get traded, I mean, that's one sign. Doesn't mean we're going to get it done. Look at what Dame said. He wants to come there, and it didn't happen. So we'll see what happens. I want to ask Ernest and Martel and Amir, whatever, what's the trade for? Like, what's the type of trade that we're looking to get him? Because I don't feel like he's not a Mitchell, but he's not a Murray. So what do you give up for a Terry Rozier without doing too much?
So, I mean, I think Terry Rozier is actually a candidate where we can actually do 2 great things. We can get him and upgrade in the point guard position, and then we may not have to give up so much. Because Trent, I know you're all for Mitchell. I think that's going to be like something we got to look at in the off season. It's like I mentioned in the video I posted earlier today. You want to win now. You want to upgrade now. So with Terry Rozier, if we're able to trade for him, I don't think we're going to have to give up as much as we would, say, a Donovan Mitchell or even a DeJounte Murray. What do I mean by much? I'm talking about draft picks. Because if we possibly get Donovan Mitchell, we know what that trade is going to center around. Tyler Herro and multiple first-round draft picks. I think we're all in agreement that we would prefer Donovan Mitchell over Tyler Herro. I love Tyler. I know Trent's not a huge fan, but we all know that we would prefer Donovan Mitchell over Tyler Herro. So if you're trading Terry Rozier, it's because you can throw in a Kyle Lowry and maybe a future first-round draft pick. I don't think you're going to need 2 to 3 first-round draft picks to come here. So you got to kind of finagle the situation. You got to give Charlotte something that's going to benefit them, like an asset. That's going to be one or two things: packaging a first round draft pick with Kyle Lowry, or the Heat can do a multiplayer trade. You can take Nikola Jovic and Kyle Lowry, trade it for a Terry Rozier, get a contract filler, so that way you don't have to give in a first round draft pick. I think that's a trade that we could do. Now, if Charlotte won't accept it, F them, whatever. But that's what I'd be willing to give up for him. So I'm curious on what you guys think about that.
Can I let me propose a question before I want to hear Martel's perspective too, and I want to talk about Rozier's fit on the team specifically. But so you mentioned this, Ernest, other players in the package, right? So I agree with you. I think a first round pick, Kyle Lowry, and maybe a Jovic as the sweetener, because they are a young team. They want to get some contract off their books that he has 50 million left or whatever it may be. So I don't know if I would want to part with Jovic for a Murray, I think I've said, or even a Rozier. I'm 50-50, right?
Yeah.
So I'm open-minded because I know Jimmy's getting older, to Trent's point, as he's talked about in the past. Like, we need to build now. So I think one pick, Lowry and Jovic, probably makes sense. If we can get rid of Jovic, then I'm all for that trade. But what's if we can package in a player that we talked about in our last video that's also on that team, Gordon Hayward and Rozier, for who would that be? Would you be willing to give up 2 first-round picks, let's say Kyle, Caleb, and a Jovic, to get that done? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't want to cut anyone off, but I'll say this: to do that, it's going to be insanely impossible, simply because Rozier and Gordon together make like $55 million. So the only way you're going to make that work is by including Tyler Herro in the package. No.
Or Duncan, Caleb, Jovic, and Thomas Bryant or something like, so basically gutting the roster. Okay.
No way. Not for Duncan Robinson. Hell no. I don't know what you guys think, but hell no.
Hell no. I agree with you. Martel, overall, not that question. What are your thoughts on this report?
Listen, man, Terry Rozier, he's a big shot maker. You know, he makes clutch shots. He is a Miami Heat killer. With Jimmy Butler, he has to make this decision because he dictates whether Kyle Lowry is on this team. Because if he wants to win a championship, don't get me wrong, I think Kyle Lowry's been playing decent this year. However, we could use the upgrade because think about it, Kyle Lowry's going multiple games without even trying to shoot the basketball. You know what I mean? So we need a point guard that's not only going to set guys up, but he's looking to create his own shot and then also to create rim pressure. I think Terry Rozier or Ty Jones, somebody, Colin Sexton, there's a bunch of point guards. I don't really think the Miami Heat are going to get a Donovan Mitchell. That's just my opinion. But if we can just get a point guard that can help set up this team and actually look to score the basketball, I think in terms of Gordon Hayward, I think he's a good option on the buyout market if they do buy him out so that we don't have to trade for him. But those are my thoughts.
So I will say something, and this is regarded to the comments to everybody. Bring it on. I love it. I love all the smoke, and I'm going to give the smoke right back to y'all, all right? So what if I want to sacrifice our future? And we're not really sacrificing our future because if y'all finish watching that episode, Ernest especially said, if we give up Jovic, we still have a young core over here that is still pretty good. So giving up a piece that Spoelstra doesn't even really want to play like that, was forced to due to injuries and all this other stuff, and I get it. He has shown potential that he can be a solid rotational piece to this team. But at the end of the day, y'all care about championships or you care about the future? Yeah, we still going to have a solid future, but right now, y'all are going to be complaining, why didn't we trade for this? Why didn't we trade for that? And then when we lose, you're going to be like, it's because we didn't trade for him. Oh, but we still got Jovic. We got Jovic coming off the bench, though. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So it's like, yeah, I get it. In the NBA, you have to sacrifice. I don't think you realize you have to sacrifice in the NBA. These players, look at the Suns. You think they wanted to give them Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson? They were 2 young pieces. They got Kevin Durant. You had to sacrifice. That's just how it is nowadays in the league. So when no one's sacrificing the future, it'll be different. I said, yeah, let's throw Jamie, whatever, and then Jovic and these other players. That's sacrificing. But if you're just throwing one rookie that Harley's gonna play with Caleb Martin back, with Haywood Highsmith back, with Kevin Love comes back, he might not even crack the rotation. So how are we throwing the future away? Let's just be for real right there. So
makes sense.
I think, sorry to cut you off there, but I think Rozier can kind of take a backseat. Like, he's going to understand that this is Jimmy and Bam's team. He could fit in. I think he could sacrifice. He did it earlier on in his career because of necessity. Like if we think about him on the Celtics before he went to the Hornets, he was playing behind Kyrie. Even though when Kyrie would get hurt, he'd come in and ball. They had Gordon Hayward, they had Tatum, they had Brown, they had Horford, and talk about a team that didn't sacrifice, but Terry Rozier did. Like I think I just saw a video with Gordon Hayward talking about that, how they fucked that up in Boston, how none of them were willing to because they all had ego. They're all trying to get buckets. Rozier was part of that. But Rozier, though, I think sacrificed because like he was a starting caliber guard and he had to sit out because of Kyrie. And so I think he would be a great fit because like one, he would help us obviously with facilitating the rock to Bam. He's averaging 7 assists to your point, Trent. So he can play make, but he could also score, but he can also defer. Like he's a leader. He'll defer and he knows that Jimmy is our number one guy, man. So like he would be our 3-level scorer. Like that dude's 6'1" and can finish at the rim better than Tyler. Like Tyler's 6'5". We always talk about how he gets blocked. Martell gave us that 1 out of 3 or 4 attempts, which is insane. But dude, Terry Rozier is a legit 3-level scorer. That guy can get to the rack. He could finish. He could hit the 3. I'm stoked, man. I think you sold me. I think I might be more stoked about this than Murray.
I'm so sorry, Trent. You first.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I will say I think Terry Rozier has matured a lot, and the reason why I say this, he's on the Charlotte Hornets. Look who's on that team. They have a bunch of young guys. A bunch of young talent, a bunch, right? So he's the leader. He's the veteran of that team. Him and Gordon Hayward, right? Those are the two guys that I'm pretty sure in the locker room or whatever the case may be, they look up to them. So he's already, and he's been there for a while. It's not like he's been there for a year or two. He's been there for a little while now, and he's just hooping. He's just waiting for his opportunity to get. And this may be the season where he eventually gets traded. And so I will love him on this Miami Heat roster, and I will continue to say I'm gonna continue to bring up the NBA Finals because we needed. That's our goal. We want to win a championship. We need shot making and we need shot creation. We can't live or die off a Tyler Herro screen. We can't. We just can't. So with Terry Rozier being put into that offense, with us having the best coach in the NBA, this is going to work completely fine. And if Duncan Robinson starts consistently hitting his shots, and we still got Kayla Martin healthy, Kevin Love playing a big role, and Haywood Highsmith, this team is going to be completely fine. Bring on the Celtics, bring on the 76ers, and I want to transition into the teams that we will have to see in the playoffs, and one of them in Eastern Conference has made a big move in there, and that's the Indiana Pacers.
Dude,
Before we move on to that, there's one thing I want to touch. Kyle Lowry. Before we get to the trade for Siakam, I get it, but I want to say this because I want the fans to understand something, the people that subscribe to our channel. I understand that we have to trade Kyle Lowry. I understand that Kyle Lowry has not lived up to the $90 million contract. I get all that, and I know that people see his box score, and they see the 2 points, the 6 points, the 0 points. I'm all for trading Kyle Lowry, but I want people to understand I think that Kyle Lowry has done his job here in Miami. I understand he hasn't gotten the contract. If this was the Kyle Lowry from 2022, that Kyle Lowry that took 58 charges in one season, doubled more than any other team in the NBA, not player, team. If this was the same Kyle Lowry, it'd be different. But if you look at Kyle Lowry's numbers, you guys, he's averaging 9 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. It's fun because the things that he does on the court doesn't show in the box score. If you guys notice, whenever he has those terrible games, it's followed up by a +10, +15. The things that he does on the court doesn't show in the box score, and he has great chemistry with Jimmy and Bam. But I will agree with you guys on this, and it's just like Trent mentioned right before I went into the topic, the playoffs. That's going to be the biggest problem for Kyle Lowry. We don't have Gabe Vincent anymore to start. We need a faster starting point guard, because if you're going to ask Kyle Lowry to guard Jalen Brunson, to guard the Derek Whites and the Drew Holidays, to guard Tyrese Maxey, it's not going to happen. So that's a point I wanted to make, because I wanted to give a little bit of flowers to Kyle Lowry. But yeah, that contract is shit.
No, he ain't getting no flowers. He came over here out of shape and overweight. Listen, like you said, I know he Jimmy Butler's boy. No, but it's true though. Pat was on him about the conditioning. So you're telling me that
you're right.
Taking basketball seriously. He came over here out of shape and overweight. And listen, if they want to win now, if they say they want to win so bad for Jimmy Butler, you trade Kyle Lowry and you get somebody else to replace him. Thank you
I
for what
agree.
you know what I'm saying. Thank you for
I
everything
agree.
he did, but it just didn't work out, and we move on. And that's if the Miami Heat, and that's if Jimmy Butler wants to win that bad.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Ernest, though, right? About that, right? I think that's all good and all, and like you said, it matters in the playoffs. That's when he's probably not gonna do his thing. I think all that stuff is plus minus is good, and I know that's how Kyle Lowry is throughout his NBA career. He does little things that don't show on the stat line, this and that, right? Is that gonna win us a championship? Say if we don't trade for anybody though, like those little things. That's my thing.
If we had another point guard, not a point guard, but if we had somebody else, like a different lineup. If you're telling me that the lineup going forward is Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez Jr. starting in the backcourt, then my answer would be yes. Yeah, because I think Kyle Lowry is the best backup point guard in the NBA. Absolutely. I would love Kyle Lowry coming off the bench, even at 30 million. Fuck it. What? I'm sorry. Whatever. It doesn't matter because you're that contract's going away after this season. But with this roster that we have, I know that Spoelstra is going to go to Lowry to start, and I don't think it's going to work. So to answer your question, yeah, if he's coming off the bench, I just don't think we have a good piece to start for him.
And look what happened last year. We made it to the finals. We didn't win it, but when we had a guard with Vincent, we made it to the finals. So
Yeah.
just get us a Terry Rozier.
Yeah. And to your point, Trent, if we have Rozier and Tyler Hero in an NBA Finals against Denver, that gives us way more offensive firepower. So, yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with you in this point, brother. It's just we all have different opinions. And with Kyle Lowry, I don't know if you guys saw my videos at the beginning of the season. I was going crazy on him, hating him. Why do we have him? But then you see these little games, you're like, okay, I get it. But no, yeah, I agree with you guys.
Yeah, man, he doesn't jump out in terms of box score, and the consistency's not there with like his shot attempts. Some games he doesn't shoot the goddamn ball. Some games he does, but he settles the team in the fourth quarter. I've noticed a trend that I've seen, but like the games when he wasn't playing and Tyler had the ball in his hands and Jaquez had the ball in their hand, Jaquez is young. He's going to make those rookie mistakes and get caught in the air. He does that cross-court pass that sometimes gets intercepted. Tyler just makes some boneheaded plays. He's not a true point guard. So like it's nice to have Kyle settle us down, get us in our spots in that fourth quarter. But I've also noticed a trend. He is starting, but he's also not finishing games lately. If you notice, Spo's been putting Jay Rich in for defense and because he's obviously scoring and attempting more shots than Kyle is. But we all agree, I think Kyle needs to be our backup. Like he could start, which he's doing right now in regular season games because he's just a glorified starter, but he's not finishing. I think finishing is what's the most important, right? I think.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're making $30 million, you got to be able to finish games. So, yeah, I know. It's annoying. But trading for him is definitely the answer.
Yeah, and this would be a cool scenario. What's if we trade his ass for a DeJounte Murray in theory? They can buy him out. We could re-sign him as our backup point guard, right? He can come back for $1 million, or whatever the vet's min is. If we trade him, gets bought out, then he can come back and sign anywhere else he wants, right? So
no, he needs to be traded because he was traded by us. If he's traded, if the team that we trade him to buys him out, then he would have to clear waivers. No team would sign him. Then he could come to Miami. The only way that we could claim his waivers is if we trade him to like Atlanta and then they send him somewhere else and then he gets bought out, I believe. If I'm wrong, guys, correct me, but I remember that was a situation with Dragic a couple of years ago.
Yes, you're right. Thank you. This is our in-house Adam Simons over here, our scout right here. Thanks for that. Okay, so
got you.
Yeah, fuck Kyle Lowry. Fuck Herro, right, Trent? I'm just kidding. I like Herro. We like Herro.
Fuck Tyler Herro.
I know.
Fuck him. Bro, my thing about Tyler Herro, so y'all about to get me on a rant real quick. Hold up. God. This dude, Tyler Herro. One thing that frustrates me is he, at this point of his career, he needs to be drawing more fucking fouls. But you know what? He's too busy getting fucking blocked every 5 seconds. Bro, this dude, when he goes to the free throw line, is shooting damn near 88%. Bro, when you look at his free throws, 84, 85. Bro, look at his free throw attempts. He's shooting 3. That is unacceptable. What do you think Jimmy Buckets gets all his... Bro, he's drawing fouls, going to the free throw line. I just seen a game he went 13 for 14. Look at these star players. They draw fouls, get to the free throw line, and get easy points. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, all star players. Nigga, this is like what, your 5th season, bro? You having 3 fucking free throws? I played ball my whole life. I go out there right now, nigga, I'm getting at least 7 fucking free throws, bro. Get your fucking weight up, you bum ass. All right, let me just.
All right. Hey.
Yo, real talk. It's the floaters. He avoids contact. And I think, but I think it's because of the ankle injury. I honestly, he was doing, if you notice since he's been back, every time he goes to the rim, it's a floater. And he does it, bro. What annoys me, I love Tyler Herro. I know I speak up for him, but one thing that annoys me is if you're going to shoot a floater 6 feet away from the basket, hit the fucking backboard. Why are you trying to throw a swish when you're throwing a floater? Just hit the backboard, man.
He's
like that would infuriate me like crazy. Okay, sorry.
But also, how did he get injured? A floater. He did a floater, landed on whoever's foot on Memphis, so that's even danger. He's putting himself.
I think. Yeah, I play ball. A floater, you're in the air. You come down on your feet on a floater, depending how high you get. So I have really bad ankle injuries. I sprain my ankles all the time. So I'm a little bigger body, but I like to use contact. Tyler Herro, if you want to come, I'll teach you to use your contact. Maybe I'll get off your ass. Maybe I will. I don't know.
Oh, God. All right, let's switch gears real quick.
For real.
Trent, no more Tyler hate, baby. Come on. Trent alluded earlier, so Pascal Siakam got traded from the Raptors to the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, God.
1 game behind the Heat, right? They're 1 seed behind us. Tyrese Halliburton has been balling and killing it. So that's a pretty nice duo. They still have Miles Turner. They still have Buddy Hield. I know they want to make some other moves possibly, but just how big of a threat are they now, do you think, for the Heat? What do you think, Martel?
Oh.
Right now, I'm not really – listen, I'm still not phased. Don't get me wrong. I think that they're a hard-nosed team like us, but I still think that we have enough to get it done in terms of our – when you look from the bench standpoint, who's really on their bench? Like, I understand that their point guard is great. Now they got Siakam. But other than that, really, I'm not really too phased by them. I think that we have guys on our squad that not only can match up with them, but then at the same time, I think we're a little bit better offensively with them. I know that they do play at a very fast pace. As long as we're able to slow them down, which Jimmy Butler does by getting to the free throw line. But other than that, like I said, I know they got better, but I'm still not fazed by them.
Yeah, I agree. They got 8 guys that are averaging over double figures. They're a pretty good offensive team. But the playoffs are different, man. Regular season and playoffs are 2 different animals. And Tyrese Halliburton don't got the experience. I know Siakam does. But in the 7-game series, I think Jimmy Butler would torch these guys. Heat in 5.
So, one thing I will say, when we look at the Eastern Conference, let's just go down, right? The Celtics, they made a move. They made a move for Porzingis. The Bucks made a move for Dame. 76ers made a move, right? The Cavaliers didn't make a move. The Heat haven't made a move. The Pacers made a move, and the Knicks made a move. So these are the teams that we are they're playoff teams. These are all playoff teams. The only 2 teams that haven't made a move. It's the Cavaliers and the Heat. I don't see the Cavaliers making a move, and the Miami Heat are in question. All I'm saying is Pacers, they're going to be a fun team. They're already a fun team. Tyrese Halliburton's he's doing his thing. But we've seen in the in-season tournament championship, the bum-ass Lakers beat them, and the Lakers are one of the worst teams in the league. At big moments, they couldn't finish it. So I'm not too worried about them. Like you said, their bench unit is okay. It's not the greatest. I think we easily have a better bench than them. I will say, though, I wouldn't say Heat in 5, Ernest, though, because I feel like how the Pacers play, they play so quick and just chuck up a bunch of threes that, it'll probably take us 6 games to beat these dudes because that's just a tough team right there. And then add in Pascal Siakam, but I think we'll still beat them. But all I'm saying is, look at the trend in the Eastern Conference. All the big-name teams that we will have to see if we want to go through made a trade.
Because they're scared of us. Because they're scared of us.
You could say they're scared of us or not. But we need to do something. We need to do something.
We do. We need to activate Jimmy Butler in the playoffs and shut these mother lovers up. I'm not phased, man. I'm not phased by these teams. Martel, I don't know how you feel, buddy, but I'm just Not phased.
I agree. I mean, the front office probably feels the same way, Ernest. Every Miami Heat fan's favorite words, run it back, right? As long as we're healthy, dude, that's like why we're not like going after DeJounte. And I'll get into that in a second, but my thoughts, I agree with y'all that we're still going to beat the Pacers, but they're young, highest scoring team in the NBA. Like they have Mathurin, who's pretty good. They got Obi Toppin was a good pick. He's young, high flyer, playing well. Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, they're pretty deep. They have the pest, TJ McConnell, right?
Yep.
That like is like always plays good against the Miami Heat. So like they're pretty good. And Pascal Siakam, what does he bring? Championship experience, dude. Two-way player, playmaker, 22, 6, and 5. Like, dude, this guy's no scrub. He's not going to make them a championship contender, but if we play them in the first round at the 4-5 matchup or the 3-6 matchup, like that's a tougher out the first round, right? That's a tough fucking. I mean, but fuck that. We're the Miami Heat. Who the fuck did we bust up in the first round this year and during the bubble? The Bucks, the number 1 seed. Like what? It doesn't mean shit, Ernest. I'm on your side. It just does make the gauntlet in the East a little bit harder, and it's tough on both sides. We got the Celtics to worry about, the Bucks. Realistically, I don't give a shit about the Sixers. They're not going to do anything. And then we have the Clippers and Nuggets. There's 4 teams. This is just another team that's going to be tough to get through, which we will get through. Anyway, not a big deal. We all made videos. I was hoping the Heat were semi-linked to him. Like curious about him. That could have been an interesting backcourt. Him and Bam together, but either way, we gotta make a move. But if we don't, to Ernest's point, I'm on the same camp as you, man. Like obviously, we're putting out feelers out there. We're testing the market. We're seeing who's available out there. The Heat know we need the point guard. They know we need a power forward. They know we need a backup power forward, perhaps. And I think we just feel like we're okay because like we just need to be healthy, which I don't think we ever will be. But as long as we're healthy enough, we have Himmy.
But that's the big thing, though. That's a big thing, though. We can't just sit here and say, well, hopefully we're healthy, because when you look at all the years past, we've never been healthy. And I think that's one of the biggest things. So, yes, we have a deep team, but for some strange reason, somebody always gets hurt during the run.
Yeah.
And like I said, even if we don't get a point guard, I won't be mad at it. But then at the same time, if we don't win the finals, which I think we have a good chance to win, that could be one of the factors on why we don't win. Because like Trent said, every other team has made a trade.
Yeah, I mean, but to your point, Martel, and I agree with you, but I mean, you can make a trade and it could shoot you in the foot. Look what happened to us a few years ago. We traded for Victor Oladipo. We gave up Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, and a future first-round draft pick, and Victor Oladipo was hurt 4 games into the trade. Any like health, man, that's one thing that we really can't talk much about because it's going to be there. If it's there, if it's not, it's not. But in the last 4 years, with an injured roster, and I'm not talking about in the season, in the playoffs, in the last 4 years, the Heat have made 3 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 NBA championships with this roster, and we haven't had Tyler Herro, Jimmy, and Bam fully healthy in a playoff run. Remember, 2020, Bam got hurt. 2022, Tyler got hurt. Last year, Tyler got hurt. We've never seen these 3 guys really have a full go in a playoff, and I know that's one thing you can't predict, but I think that's what the Heat are betting on. Is that Tyler Herro, who didn't play last year, got a chip in his shoulder. You got Himmy. Bam's a lot better. Bam ain't playing the way he played in the playoffs, you guys. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but Bam is having an MVP season. And let's not forget a little diamond by the name of Jaime Jaquez Jr.
Bro, Bam ain't playing no games this season.
Can you repeat what you said again about Tyler Herro? Just I misheard it.
Nah. Injured 2022, injured last year. Okay. But, come on, bro. Can you really blame the guy? He was hustling, grabbing a loose ball and broke his hand. I mean, come on, bro. That's just bad luck.
It's bad luck, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Exactly. So let this man cook in this playoffs. Let him play with that chip in his shoulder.
Bro, we seen his play. Okay, I hopefully he has a healthy season. I hope he has a healthy season because if he comes out there and put up 14 points a game, shooting 30% from the field, I'm going to go into next season and say, okay, so what's the excuse now? Because he played healthy.
Yep.
So we'll wait. I'll wait. Come at me in the comment sections. I'll wait. And I hope he wins us a championship. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but we'll wait.
You better not want to told you so because that's the worst fucking told you so, right? We don't want you to be right. And I think
that's going to be terrible. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to come and say I told you.
Right.
But, But you know.
No, man, I feel you. You want us to win, but I know you're not fully sold. And look, I mean, I totally understand. The dude's been injured so much. I just go back, look what he did in the playoffs in 2020 as a rookie. I know I want to see that swagger. And I haven't seen that swagger from Tyler until this year. Like, I know he won the Sixth Man of the Year award in 2022, but it was off. I don't know. Even the playoffs, he was off. This year, bro, it's something different. It's his 5th year. He's 23. I think it's a different Tyler Herro if he's healthy. I mean, that's the whole thing that we keep rolling around with.
Yeah, bring his ass to the bench and start dunking.
Hey, I called for that. I mean, hey, I kind of agree with you there, but that'll never happen.
That will never happen, and I agree. You know why, Trent? Because he won't sacrifice.
You know why?
He won't
Because
sacrifice.
Ernest says it like always. He said it the first episode I met this dude. He plays for Tyler. He don't play for Heat.
Yep.
I don't think that's
I agree.
I don't think that's entirely true. Come on, he already got his bag. He better be playing for the Heat now.
Well, I mean, and just to specify what I mean about that, and I know there were some people in the comments that questioned what I said. I think they're misunderstanding what I mean.
Clarify.
Jimmy Butler is about the team. Jimmy Butler wants to win a championship. Tyler Herro wants to make All NBA, All-Star games. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that he's younger. He wants that for himself. Nothing bad. I'm just, it's a fact.
And to put on your point, that's kind of a lot of young players because
Yeah,
you're trying to live your best life. All these awards make you more money at the end of the day.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, he's building on that ego. Jimmy already has that ego. The last step is Jimmy to win. He doesn't give a shit about some
Exactly.
Jimmy don't care.
team
Jimmy
out
don't care.
season tournament. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm not gonna play against the Bucks. He's like, I don't care about the All NBA. He already has money. He doesn't need to work. He's got big face coffee. He's gonna put out a country album. I don't know if you saw that bullshit. He's got 60.
What the hell?
No, he just does a bunch of side work.
But he better not be fucking. He better be paying attention to that shit during the off season, right?
Don't question that, man. That man gonna be ready to go. I will never doubt him, ever.
No, we will not. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for the episode. We have a game tonight. The Heat are actually going to be playing in like 15 minutes against the Raptors. So thank you for trading Pascal Siakam. We better freaking win. If Siakam's not playing tonight now, that's hopefully a win for us. We're 8 games above 500, which is pretty damn good. And here's a fun stat that we've probably mentioned before, but Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler have only finished 7 games together. They've played 9 games. One of those games, Tyler got hurt. 1 Jimmy. 7 games. All 3 of them are here tonight. Let's get that dub.
Let's go.
And, that's huge. Name one other team of all their – I think Suns are the closest example of where they had all 3 of their stars out, but I feel like they've played more than 7 games together, and they're the 9th seed, right? They're like 2 games above 500. Like any other team that would have missed this many players would be cooked. Right? If LeBron and AD missed 20 games each, they wouldn't be the 10th seed. They would be the last seed in the West. So
Facts.
We got to give this team some kudos, obviously, for staying above water and freaking 8 games above 500, hopefully 9. That's huge, man. So I'm pumped for tonight.
I agree.
Hopefully we
I
get
agree.
And yes, if there's any more breaking news, which I'm sure there will be, we got 2.5 weeks left till the trade deadline. So ideally, we're going to come on once a week to do an episode, talk about current state of the Heat, recap injuries, trade rumors, but we might be doing more of these episodes, obviously, because there's a lot of NBA news that's being shared. So,
yeah.
Really appreciate it, guys.
Wait, and then before we end, guys, if you're still watching right now, continue to like, share, comment, subscribe right under all of our channels at Top Notch for Trent, Miami Heat Talk, Team to be Miami Heat, the Miami Heat Network, all of our channels. Go to our channels, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we appreciate all the support.
Yeah, big congrats to Amir who had 500 subscribers.
Yes, we're definitely gonna start streaming, so y'all go check out for that too. Eventually. But shout out to Amir for getting 500 subs. And my last thing I gotta say, appreciate y'all, even the haters. I love the supporters. I love all y'all. And this is gonna trigger y'all. But Scotty Barnes is about to put the clamps on Tyler Herro tonight. I'm playing, y'all. I love Tyler. I love the Heat. Let's go Heat Nation, baby.
Yes, let's go. Hey, my people, Miami Heat Talk. If you're not subscribed to them, Amir, Miami Heat Network, Martell, Miami Heat Zone Podcast. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to their channels, support them. We're doing this together. We do not compete against each other. We are family based. We doing this together. We're all trying to succeed together, and we need your guys' help. And that's enough said.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You guys have a good one. Take care.